everybody, Jim Edwards here, and welcome back to the Sales Copywriting and Content Marketing Hacks podcast. I'm your host, Jim Edwards, along with my trusty co-host and podcast producer, Mr. Stu Smith. Welcome, Stu.
Thank you, Jim.
And we're feeling great with podcast episode 98, which is pretty cool. And today, we're not going to mention the year because that way this will be forever, this will be evergreen. Unless people really look at the date on the podcast list and then they'll realize we're full of crap, but we might be able to do something. So here's the thing. The year's almost over. And this is typically when people look back and reflect on, the year. Oh, screw it. I'm not even going to. It's 2020. We're right in the middle of COVID. We're at the, we thought it'd be over by now. It ain't over. Lord knows when it'll be done. Hopefully, and it's got to be done in the next year, though, because we got Jimbo scheduled for next November. So this has to be over in the next 8-9 months. I'm willing it. I am speaking it that this will be over. Everybody can get their if nothing else, you need to get the dang vaccine so you can go on the Jimbo. Okay, that's why. So I'm like getting everybody pumped up about, hey, we're all going to come out of COVID and we're all going to go on the Jimbo. I want to fill that whole boat. I want to feel like a rock star.
Yes,
that it's the Jimbo, and then we'll get so many people on there that will just rappel down the back of the boat and spray paint the Jimbo on the back of the cruise ship. That'd be pretty cool. Probably get you thrown off, but that's okay. We'll do it the last day.
Okay.
So the thing is, this has been one of those years where a lot of people got crushed, but a lot of people crushed it.
True.
And why do you think that is, Stu?
I think maybe they were just flexible and were able to see some opportunities where other people thought of them as maybe vulnerabilities.
Right.
And weaknesses, so to speak. So there were some opportunities this year, and did you take advantage of them? Were you able to evolve in order to take advantage of them even?
Well, it was interesting because I know a couple people that in other countries that they got that the government paid them a bunch of money to stay home.
Yeah.
And so two of my friends use this as an opportunity. They're like, okay, you're going to pay me to stay home. And I was already trying to work on my online business. And now you're going to pay me and I don't have to go to my regular job because I can't, but you'll pay me and I can sit here and get this figured out.
That's huge.
And they made huge strides. One of them ain't going back to work.
Good.
And so I think that was one of those things that we could look at 2020, and you always talk about evolution in two different ways. There's the next evolution, which usually sucks. It's a circuit. Sure. Or there's evolution. Have you evolved? Have you changed? Have you adapted? Have you overcome? And I really think that there were three groups of people. And there are three groups of people right now sitting at home, as a lot of people are sitting at their job or whatever they're doing. One group of people felt totally crushed by 2020. They threw up their hands and they're done. And hey, look, I'm gonna take a time out real quick and pause. I am aware that there are some people that need help, that can't deal with stress, that have issues that they need our help. And I actively do try to help those people. I'm not talking about people, it's like the original, I'm going down the rabbit hole, so I'll get crucified for this, so that's good. That was really the original intention behind welfare, was to help widows and orphans, people who were incapable of taking care of themselves. And I think that we have a moral obligation. I don't care what your politics are.
Oh, absolutely.
We have a moral obligation to help those people who are physically and mentally incapable of taking care of themselves. However, that group is smaller than you might think. And there are some people that, for whatever reason, they just sit there and life happens to them. There were that was one group. Life was just happening to people and they were getting steamrolled by what happened in the last year.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, at some point you put on your big boy pants or your big girl pants and you got to take responsibility for what happens. The second group of people, let's say they hunkered down. It was like a storm came. They hunkered down. Wasn't too bad, wasn't too good. It's just, we're going to get through this. And I think that was the majority of people. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. I don't see anything wrong with that in the least. And then there was another group of people that said, you know what? I'm going to use this time and I'm going to view it as a gift. I'm going to view it as an opportunity to learn something new, to adapt, to evolve, to try new stuff, to experiment, to just see if I can pull something exponentially better out of this experience. And I think those are the people that when they come out of this are going to be light years ahead of where they would have been if COVID had not happened. Because this, like the one group, it was an excuse to just sit down in the pity pot.
Mm-hmm.
For the group on the other end, it was the excuse to try anything you wanted to try because I got nothing to lose. And let me see if I can make something really, really happen.
Yeah.
Now, I saw this in everything from homeschooling to business to podcasting to education to copyright, just in all areas. Like my granddaughter, my daughter Nancy was not happy with how she saw the public school system in her county handling the online learning. It was a train wreck. Okay. So we found an alternative. And my granddaughter finished the 5th grade in 3 months.
Wow.
And the kid is just, she crushed it. So now she's going back through it. The kid's going to take the 5th grade, or 4th grade, sorry, not 4th grade. She's taking the 4th grade again, and then she's at her own pace and she's learning coding and a bunch of other stuff. And then in January, she's starting the 5th grade.
Wow.
So, and she'll finish 5th grade by May. So even if she ends up having to go back through the public school, we're not sure what's going to happen. But the kid is crushing it. They took this as an opportunity to try something different because what was being offered was not working. And so many people took that opportunity in business. You know, you see the Mexican restaurant in town, they adapted instantly. When they shut down all the restaurants, that day, they went in the delivery business. They didn't wait to figure it out. They had signs up everywhere. We're delivering all over the county. And it's not like they have a 5-mile radius or something. I don't care where you are in the county. They'll show up.
Wow.
And so they thrived.
Wait, you mean they didn't have to build an infrastructure for their delivery system?
No, they had a phone. They had a phone and put up a sign that says, "We'll deliver." And they put their menu online. And that day they started doing delivery.
Nice.
And, then it's just making a decision that this is not going to crush me, that I'm going to use this to grow. And it comes down to that decision. I mean, I've been talking a lot, Stu. Oh, and hey, Denise said, "Aren't you strong enough to carry your groceries upstairs?" The reason we put the elevator in the house was so that my dad would be able to come visit us. A whole reason I put that in there was to make it possible for my father to come and enjoy that new house. That was the only reason. Otherwise, we wouldn't have done it. Anyway, Stu, what you thinking? What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm with you, Jim, obviously. I had a little bit different transition going into 2020 because 2018 and 2019 were very productive years. I think I did 12 new programs, 12 new books in those 2 years. So I was determined to take a year off and not write anything new, which really opened up some creativity for me to sell better. Right. And that's all I spent 2020 doing was selling, selling these programs that I've already written. It's nice to write a book, but if you want to make money from selling a book, you have to sell a book.
No, yeah.
But anyway, that's what I did. And I had some answers. I realized that I had some answers to some of the problems that I was seeing happen in the fitness world, such as, people losing their,
I can't go to the gym.
yeah, you can't go to the gym, you lose the gym, you lose all that. And, maybe even creating your own home gym with some minimal equipment, those, I had answers to that. And I just created a whole system around that. So that's what I did. I spent.
You taught me how to do pickle push-ups.
Yeah. So that's what I did.
So you kicked ass this year, though.
I did.
I mean,
this has been a very good year, and I'm embarrassed to say that, because I know a lot of people have had a very, very hard time this year as well. But
when you have a good year, it allows you to help other people to have a good year. That's the thing. People don't ever be ashamed of making money. Don't ever be ashamed of thriving, because by you thriving, you serve as an example for others. Number two, it gives you resources to help those who are not thriving, and it enables you to have an open mind and not have the stress to be able to spot new opportunities that lead your family and your sphere forward, and you can serve as an example. So don't ever apologize or be embarrassed for doing well, no matter what the circumstances are, Mr. Smith. I never want to hear that again.
You won't hear it from me ever. I appreciate that, because I needed to hear that.
That's something you need to be the one. I've always looked at it as I want to be the one in the family that people can turn to if something really goes wrong and they need help. So that's important. So I would say, I saw a meme, I don't even remember when, but it basically said, you mean to tell me I have to stay at home and not talk to other people and never go out? I've been training for this my whole life. It's like the introverts me.
Yeah, man.
I've been training for this my whole life.
This is the best.
This is great. So that's Terry and I have talked about, the funny thing is that in a lot of ways our life didn't change at all. And we were very fortunate. And where we did have to change, we adapted. I actually have turned into the one that goes to the grocery store. So Terry, because she's got a couple of things that if she were to get the COVID, it could really jack her up, age and a couple of medical conditions. So, I mean, I strap on my mask. One of these days I want to wear my gas mask. I've got an Israeli gas mask. I really want to wear this into Food Lion, just do the whole trip. But dude, this is no lie. I can do all the grocery shopping. I can do all the grocery shopping in 13 minutes.
Oh yeah. I love Food Lion. I know where everything is.
Right.
I just go in and out of there.
Doesn't it piss you off every couple of years when they rearrange everything? Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Torques me off.
I can't even go into like a different grocery store because I'm lost.
Exactly. But I can go in there and get it done. And I figured out that if you go not right when they open, but 30 minutes after they open, there's nobody there, because there's all these people that want to be the first one there. But then after all the ones that want to be the first one there are done, then nobody's there. So you can bust it all out that way. So just adapting and, not going to the grocery store when we need stuff, but planning ahead and saying, okay, here's the list. Here's what we need. I'm going to get it and I will be back. I can leave the house and go do the grocery shopping and be back in the house in 41 minutes, which is pretty cool.
That's not bad.
And that may not sound, like, what does that have to do with not getting crushed by 2021 or by 2020? And what it did was it gave me and Terry a sense of control. it gives me a sense of mastery over my own life, that I am not subject to life, but I am in control of my own. I'm in control of my destiny, my attitude, and my actions. And that's like, it's almost like making your bed. I know that on Sunday I'm gonna get up, so I'm not gonna sleep in on Sunday and like sleep the day away. I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna accomplish something. The bed's made, the grocery shopping's done, then do some cleaning and other stuff, and just handle it. And if you take care of those little things, then it makes you feel better to be able to take care of the bigger things. And that has helped me a lot this year too.
Yeah, I'm with you. Being flexible, rearranging your schedule, making it work for you, does give you that confidence just to, still thrive.
Yeah.
And that's the key. Part of the original topic of this too was
it's like we need to bring this back on topic.
What is your to-do list? Like, what are you trying to get done? And there's two things I want you to think about, because I saw this, you posted this in the Facebook group. What are you trying to get done before the year is over?
Yeah.
Right. And then mine was, what are you trying to get done for 2021? What's your go-to or to-do list for 2021? What are you trying to accomplish?
You asking me?
Well, I'm just asking everybody, right? I mean, and then set that up on the same thing that we've been talking about for the last 45 minutes of getting it done.
Yeah.
But
I think if you want to get it done, it has to be reduced down to daily actions.
Oh yeah.
That you can control. So when you have goals like, hey, I got to make $1 million. Okay, because that's everybody's goal. Everybody's goals are like, I want to make $1 million this year, or I make $100,000 this year. There's nothing in between. And then the next thing is like, I need to sell a bunch of stuff. Okay, that's still have not reduced that down to action. So if you gotta, if you want to make $1 million, how much you got to sell? Well, if you sell something for $1,000, you got to sell 1,000 people. By the way, the $1 million, is that gross or net? Big difference. Big difference. Okay. Sure. So you got to think that through. My suggestion is the first time you do it, you should go for gross. All right. Just saying.
Just to break it. Yeah.
So then you got to figure out, okay, $1 million, how much is my product? Well, if I'm selling a product for $10, I got to sell 100,000 of those. That's kind of tough. If I'm selling a product for $1,000, then I only got to sell 1,000. If I'm selling a product for $10,000, I only got to sell 100. If I'm selling a product for $50, I got to sell 20,000. You got to figure out what does that look like. So then once you've done, that's why you need to have a funnel, because you start with something for $20, and by the time they come out the funnel, you've made them an offer for something for $1,000. I do that every day. That's how you make $1 million. But then you got to think, okay, once I know how the funnel looks, then what do I do every single day that is going to create that? Well, I need to contact X number of people. In real estate, every day I had to make my numbers. I had to talk to 100 people, because I knew if I talked to 100 people, I would get, I had to dial the phone 300 times. I had to talk to 100 people, because I knew to talk to 100, I had to dial 300. Then for every 100 I talked to, I would get 2 appointments. And I knew in order to get the number of listings and sales that I needed to get 2 appointments a day. So 10 appointments a week, which at least 2 or 1 would result in either a listing or a buyer client. And that's how you could do, 50 transactions a year. So 50 transactions a year, which was at the time was around, $90,000 or whatever it was. I knew that in order to make the 90, I had to dial the phone 300 times a day. I reduced all the stuff, everything, all the goals that you could have. Well, I'm going to take this many listings and this many clients and this many this and this many this, and these are my goals. No, those aren't your goals. Those are the outcomes that you're trying to set up. but you need to start with the end run outcome and work your way back to daily goals. And to me, a goal is something that you either do or don't do. It's like Yoda said, you know, there do or do not. There is no try. So, you know, I've reduced my business down to my business in my life is that I'm successful if I create content every day, if I reach out to a certain number of people every single day, I make X number of offers in a week. It's all laid out and it's reduced down. And then when it's, quarterly stuff, like launching a new product this month and then doing a workshop next month and then a workshop in February and planning this stuff out, then it gets reduced down to the list of actions that need to get taken. And by day they're scheduled. And so a successful day is, did I do all of the things I knew I needed to do today to reach the outcomes that I want to get? And then it's stringing together successful hours into successful days, into successful weeks, into successful months, into successful years, into a successful life. In there also needs to be stuff for nutrition and also stuff for physical activity, stuff for relationships, stuff for spirituality. You have to make time for that every single day, because if you don't do it every single day, it doesn't become a habit.
That's right. Creating habits.
Anyway.
Yep. One step at a time.
That's what you got to do. I really dominated this. I'm sorry, Stu. What do you have to say?
No, man, you're on a roll. That's why I came up with this. I knew you were going to be on fire today, because everything I have seen that you've been doing for the last 2 weeks has been on this topic in a way, whether it was right. You got to get your book up on Amazon, or what would you do if you had a book on Amazon. What was another one I saw you posted here?
If you have a book on Amazon, how do you revive a dead book?
You're right. Well, what is the single most important business task you want to accomplish, get done before the end of the year?
Right.
You've been on this topic for a while, and I knew it was fermenting in your brain, and now it just boom.
It's pickled. My brain is pickled.
So Denise just asked a good question, Stu.
Yeah.
Not that all questions are, actually, not all questions are good. We're just going to get that out of the way right now. Not everybody gets a trophy. Not all questions are good. Some questions are dumb.
Yes.
What are the minimums to become a SEAL, Stu?
Yeah, that's a good dumb one.
Do you work with a coach to sustain accountability, to plan, or did a coach program help you get started? So interestingly enough, anytime I've ever hired a coach, with the exception of Stu, it's never worked. And looking back, the reason it didn't work was because I was looking to the coach to be the source of accountability instead of myself as the source of accountability. So I've hired people and paid them as much as $30,000 to help me figure out what I should do in my business. And the funny thing is that the 2 times that I've really seriously hired a coach, they both basically, after a whole bunch of bull crap and charging me money and talking to all my team members and everything else, they told me that I should basically just keep doing what I'd been doing.
Oh, damn.
Wow.
Thanks for that tip.
Yeah. Thanks, Captain Obvious. That's called being a consultant. But with working out, I've run hot and cold on fitness since I was 17 years old. And I went through a period in my 30s where I was on medication for a heart condition, and I went to pot badly. And when I was about 40, I hired I started looking, you need a personal trainer. So the problem is that hiring a personal trainer didn't do me any good, because I was looking to the personal trainer to be the source of accountability and motivation. And so what would happen when the personal trainer was working out, I was getting in shape and losing weight. But then with all things, something happens. The personal trainer leaves, they quit, they flake out, they whatever, they're gone. And then I would just go in the tank. And I realized in 2012 And I remember exactly where I was. I've been having a lot of medical problems. And in 2012, in November of 2012, I said, you know what? I'm tired of this. I've got to get this fixed. I'm gonna go walk every single day. Now, instinctively, I reduced it down to to something that I could control. And I knew that I could walk every single day. So I'm going to walk every day. I'm going to get rid of this weight. That was like, I weighed 256. I think I got up to 265, but I was too scared to weigh myself.
Wow.
And I also went to the doctor and got my sinuses fixed and some other stuff that I'd been putting off. And I just started walking every single day and started seeing results, but really, really good results. And then I started tying the walking to other stuff in my life, like daily content creation. So while I was walking, I would think about a question that I wanted to answer to create content that day. And that's when my content creation just skyrocketed, because I would spend an hour thinking about what I wanted to create content on. So when I got back from my walk, I just exploded with the content. So then what happened was that self-motivation built and built and built. And then that's when I started reaching out for help from other people. So I started out with a friend of mine who was a client also, who had a basic fitness business. He got me going with some stuff, something he had that he called Commando Cardio, which was basically a reverse pyramid of a whole bunch of different stuff, but it was hard, especially when you're not in shape and can't do a pull-up. And then I started getting into shape. And I was, again, being self-motivated. And I started looking around for somebody to help me do more pull-ups. And by then I had done a Go Ruck event. We'd gotten my ass handed to me. I was like, man, I am not in shape. I was starting to think that I was in shape, like compared to my neighbors. Sure, I'm in shape compared to my neighbors, but nobody else is out running or walking. So it's like, hey, I'm the fittest guy on the fat block. And so the funny thing is, I went and did an event and I met that guy right there, but didn't know I had just met him when he harassed me on top of a mountain because I bypassed his obstacle on an obstacle course thing. And I mean, that's how I met Stu. It was like in 2014. And so I got Stu, I joined Stu's fitness program, his online coaching program, but I never looked to Stu to motivate me. In fact, part of Stu's marketing is only the motivated find us, and my job is not to motivate you. So he's like the anti-coach coach. And the bottom line is
psychology there.
Right. The bottom line is that no coaching will work unless the person being coached is already motivated to do it. If you're looking to a coach to motivate you, you are lost and screwed before you even get started. And that explains why you see people who have every advantage, who have money, who have contacts, who have all this stuff, and they screw around with online marketing and online business for years and never do anything. They're always getting ready to get ready. Then you see somebody who has no money, who has nothing, and within a year, you realize I never heard of this person before, and now they're way up here. And it's because they were self-motivated and they had a reason to get it done. So coaching is only as good as the person being coached. And a buddy of mine, Myron Golden, this dude's vicious. When he's coaching other people, he said, hey, I don't care what you think about me. I don't care about what you think about my coaching. I know how to create results. And so whether you want to do what I tell you to do or not, or whether you agree with what I tell you to do or not, is irrelevant to me, because you don't know what you're doing and I do. And this guy charges $60,000 for you to go through his 1-year speaking program. He doesn't mess around. So that's the other end of the spectrum. But the only times in my life when I have produced amazing results have been when I was internally motivated already. And the times when I have looked for external motivation or external fire never worked out. Just cost me money and time and never worked out.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for motivation being self-motivation. And even then, even when you are motivated, there will be days when you are not motivated. mean, you're just low energy. Maybe you didn't sleep well, right? And you still got to get stuff done the next day.
Yeah.
But that's when, when you're motivated, you build really good habits.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's real easy to build a habit when you're motivated to do it, but you rely on those habits when you're not motivated. And now your motivation has evolved to discipline.
Right.
That's how growth occurs, right?
Yeah.
Doing it because you don't even feel like doing it. That is discipline. That's not motivation.
Right. The big thing I would say that coaching can do, because I'm not bashing coaching at all. The one thing coaching can do is help you over the hump to make it to self-motivation of belief. If you believe you can do it and you believe that this person can show you the way, then that can, but that's only going to get you over the very top. It's not going to get you from a standing start. So you've already got to be here, and then that'll get you over that little bit, and then it's still up to you.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, Denise is right over here when she's talking about, coaches can help you illuminate a proven path, and
Sure.
You're at least 50% there. But what I have seen is that coaching will help someone who's motivated to get started, right?
Mm-hmm.
First, or they wouldn't be buying your services first. They're real motivated at the beginning. Now, if you can, in a very short period of time, have them create some good habits, but also see some results
Right.
from that with a little bit of work, then you got them. Yeah. And they got it. They have found that missing link that they've been searching for because they're starting to see results from their hard work. And then how about that for full circle? What we just did. You started off with a little hunting story.
Mm-hmm.
And now we gone full circle into the same ending. You get results from your hard work.
Yeah.
And
that's important. I mean, your results, people buy results, and you'll keep doing something that gets you the results that you want. You won't keep doing it if it doesn't help you get results. So a coach's job also is to show people the path and help them see the incremental results, because sometimes there's a goal that you got that you can't wait till that end goal, that end result comes. You got to have intermediate stuff, because the one thing can be too far away. Like if I had said, I got to lose 60 pounds and that was my goal, I never would have done it. My goal was to walk every single day.
Yes.
So there you go. All right. Well, we could sit here and meander all we want, but it's time to go, because I have a meeting and I know you have things to do, and all of you folks need to get busy implementing what we've told you to do, which was basically
just get moving.
Just get moving and do something with a plan.
Yeah, we could have been a little more concise today, but it was a great story listening to you, Jim.
It was fun. It was fun, Stu. And next time, I'm not going to dominate nearly as much. Okay. I'm going to let you participate a little bit more.
Thank you.
And I have a book assignment for you, Stu. I need you to read. I'm just playing.
Oh,
have you ever read the book, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles?
No.
It's a really good book.
I've seen it. It was on a to-do list once, and I never got it done.
It's a good book.
Yeah.
There you go. And he also wrote a book called The Science of Being Great, which he was trying to recapture the glory of the first book. But anyway, there you go. All right, cool. Well, hey, just because we don't want to do something that doesn't involve a call to action, if you ain't got a copy of my book, Copywriting Secrets, head to copywritingsecrets.com, grab a copy for free. All I ask is that you pay a small shipping and handling. And Stu, if people want to hire you as their coach to help them get in the most amazing shape of their lives, what can they do, Stu?
StuSmithFitness.com, or just email me and I'll walk you through the process.
There you go. Awesome. Yeah. All right, everybody. Well, we appreciate you. Have a wonderful day, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye, everybody.